Now to discuss Serafin Lion Engel, co-founder and CEO of DataWallet, which helps consumers take control of their own data. Serafin, good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So just to clarify on what DataWallet does, it's something that you offer to businesses and then businesses offer to consumers.
Correct.
That allows the consumer to see what information has been collected and then control if it gets shared with anyone else.
Exactly. So it's basically a digital wallet that holds all of your personal data. So for instance, if Twitter was to give you a data wallet, you would see exactly all of the data that you create on Twitter. You would see all of the data you created yourself that they have collected about you through third-party vendors. And then you can see all of the use cases that they use that data for. And you can actually set permissions for how exactly your data can be used. You can download your data, you can delete data, so it puts you in full control of the data that you have created on the Twitter platform.
Now, with this Twitter situation that we're just talking about today, it's not Twitter sharing it with anybody externally.
Yeah.
It's using the data that users submitted in a way that users might not have expected. Would this have shown up in DataWallet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Unless they very intentionally try to hide that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what DataWallet does, it puts you in control of your data, but what it cannot do is it cannot protect you from anything that may happen illegally. So if Twitter really tried to, cover up the fact that they were collecting their two-factor authentication data in order to advertise to you, it wouldn't show up, but it would be all the more of a scandal.
Data includes what? Location? What other examples of what do we leave behind in terms of fingerprints?
Anything that you post.
Obviously, the data, the tweets itself.
Your IP address, your email address.
Whether we're on a phone, whether we're at a desktop.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. Exactly. So, I mean, it's all-encompassing, and plus Twitter also buys a lot of data about you in order to enrich their targeting capabilities. So they may buy data from Axiom about, for instance, your financial situation, whether you have applied for credit or not, all in an effort in order to more accurately show advertising to you.
What companies do you work with? Does DataWallet work with?
So we work with a lot of companies in automobile, actually in the advertising industry, because a lot of companies do want to do things differently in ad tech. They are pretty upset about the fact that a lot of companies are doing things that are unethical, and they do want things to change. We work with companies in CPG, in consulting, in a variety of different industries.
Is it a tough sell? Because I haven't seen DataWallet show up. I haven't seen a bunch of companies that I'm logging on with online saying, hey, see how we use your data and then call us out on it if we mess up. Is it tough?
It definitely is a tough sell to companies that try to do things with your data that they would rather not have you know about. So ultimately, there are a lot of companies that in the past have been good data custodians and have not gotten any credit for that. So they have not gone out on a limb in order to monetize their users' data, even though they could have, because up until about 2 years ago or so, it was not a hot topic. Nobody was really paying attention, and companies were making a lot of money selling their consumers' data. However, the companies who have been good data custodians and who have said, we do not want to do anything that our consumers wouldn't give us expressive consent to do with their data, are jumping on board with what we're doing right now. And they're the ones reaping the benefits because, to be entirely honest, consumers will switch to companies that are putting them in charge of their data. And 87% of customers say that the companies, the amount of business they do with a company depends on how much they trust it. And that trust is rooted in how they use their data.
We haven't seen any kind of sweeping federal regulation, at least not yet, around data collection and privacy, but we are starting to see it implemented on a state level. How do the regulations going into place in California and Nevada, for example, affect this conversation?
So the regulations in California and Nevada are very much focused on the sale of data, which is still a good thing. So, I mean, you can now issue an opt-out request for companies to not sell your data. However, it doesn't cover usage, right? So if, for instance, you were to, if you wanted to direct the company to stop using your data for internal marketing purposes, you wouldn't be able to do that. However, data privacy regulation, again, any data privacy regulation that is intended to put consumers in control of their data is a good thing. However, we also have to take into consideration that a lot of companies like Facebook and Amazon are really profiting from this because they are not a third-party data vendor. They have their own data, and that really benefits them.